Hi, this is Mrs. Kaiser. I want to talk to you today about multiplying fractions. So we talked about adding fractions. We did this exact same problem with addition in a previous recording. And we talked about how we have to have like terms. So when we add, we have to have like terms. We have to have the same denominator. You can't add 1/2 plus 1/8. You need to change them so that they're the same thing. And in this case, that would be eighths. But multiplication is different. We don't tend to multiply the same units together. You don't say 5 apples times 3 apples. That doesn't even make sense. We're talking about groups of things, 5 groups of 3. So if we think about that, what multiplication means, so if I have 5 times 3, that tells me that I'm going to have 3 groups or 5 groups of 3, or the other way, whatever. Run out of room here. So we see that we would have 3 and then 6 because they're groups of 3, 9, 12, and then 15. So now let's think about what this means when we have 1/2 of 1/8. So let's get that 1/8 on the number line. I'm doing the best I can to make all of my sections even. I'm not that great at it. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighths in 1. And so now I can mark my 1/8 right here. I want 1/2 of that though. So as I think about what 1/2 of that looks like, that would be to about right there. So the question is, how much is that? How long is that as I look at the whole? Well, if I make equidistant marks all the way through, then I count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I see that one whole is 16 sixteenths. And I only have one of them. So 1/2 of 1/8 is 1/16. Now, as we look at our numbers, we can see, oh, there's this pattern here. There's this shortcut. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 8 is 16. So the shortcut is to just multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. Here, this one's a little more complicated. We want to find 2/3 of 1/4. So let's get 1/4 on the number line. So there's 1/4. I want 2/3 of that. So let me chop it up into thirds. 1, 2, 3. So 2/3 of 1/4 would be right here. But I need to figure out what that is in terms of the whole. So since I chopped this up into 3, I'm going to chop them all up into 3. Remember that you count the jumps, not the lines. So as I count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I see 1 is 12 twelfths. I've cut it into 12 pieces. And I've got 2 of those. So my answer would be 2 twelfths. Again, as we can see the algorithm, so you don't have to do number lines. This is just to help us understand what's going on. Eventually, as we see this pattern over and over, we're like, oh, we just multiply the top together. 2 times 1 is 2, and the bottom, 3 times 4 is 12. Now this, we could divide 2 and 12 both by 2, and if we do that, we reduce it to 1/6. Now if I look at that here, what does that mean? Well, if I let's not use that color because it's so close to the other. Maybe yellow. If I mark off every 2 of these, then I have, which is a whole thing there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 6. And we've marked out one of them. So that's kind of how that works on a number line.